Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going deep on Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, yeah, Robert Kiyosaki's classic.
It's been around for a while, but I think there are some lessons in there that are really valuable, especially for, those of us who have been on our financial journey for a bit.
Absolutely.
What do you think is so interesting about...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, what do you think is so interesting about this book, even after all these years?
I think what's fascinating is just how much it challenges conventional thinking about money. It really throws those work hard, save money mantras right out the window.
It does. It totally does. And that whole premise of learning from two dads.
Right.
His biological father, the poor dad, his best friend's father, the rich dad. I mean, it just sets the stage for a totally different way of looking at money. And I have to admit, I used to think the love of money is the root of all evil. But Kiyosaki's Rich Dad is a really good argument that it's actually the lack of money that causes so many problems.
I think that's one of the most powerful ideas in the book, that shift. It's such a subtle shift, but it completely changes how you see things. Instead of being afraid of money, or feeling guilty about wanting more of it, you can start to see money as a tool, like a tool for creating freedom and opportunity.
That's a great way to put it. And, it seems like Kiyosaki's Rich Dad is really all about teaching financial literacy. It's not just about handing over a paycheck,
Absolutely.
Do you remember that story about Kiyosaki working in the convenience store for 10 cents an hour?
It's a brilliant lesson. I mean, most parents would be outraged, right? What are you doing to my kid? But Rich Dad was deliberately trying to, push Kiyosaki to think differently, to see that there's a limit to trading your time for money, and to start thinking about building assets that could generate income on their own.
That's such a good point. And I know for me personally, I spent years climbing the corporate ladder, thinking that was the only path to success. But after reading this, I really started to think, wait, true wealth comes from building that asset column. And you don't have to be a CEO to do it.
Exactly. And that's, I think, a key takeaway that a lot of people miss, right? It's not about quitting your job and becoming an entrepreneur, although that's one path.
Certainly.
It's more about shifting your mindset, starting to see those opportunities for building assets even while you're working.
Totally.
Have you seen any shifts like that in your own life?
Oh, yeah.
Since reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Definitely. I used to think assets were, fancy cars.
The
big houses.
The stuff.
Kiyosaki really flips that on its head.
Yeah, he does.
He defines assets as anything that puts money in your pocket. And liabilities. As things that take money out. And it's so simple, but
it's simple but powerful.
It's such a game changer in terms of how I think about spending and investing.
It all comes down to understanding cash flow, right? The rich really focus on building that system where income from assets exceeds expenses, and it kind of creates that snowball of growing wealth. But so many people, in the middle class, they increase their spending as their income rises, and they never quite get ahead.
It's like they're running on a treadmill. Kiyosaki also talks a lot about overcoming fear as a roadblock to wealth.
Oh, absolutely.
That story about the 98-pound weakling who confronts his fear of bill collectors by learning to pay himself first, even when money's tight. I mean, it's so inspiring. It made me realize how much fear holds us back on making those bold financial moves.
Absolutely. It's not about being reckless or anything, but it's just recognizing that fear can be a huge obstacle to building wealth. And he challenges him, to think differently about debt and risk, to see them as tools that you can leverage to create wealth instead of things to be afraid of.
And he also criticizes laziness. Which isn't about, just lounging around.
Exactly.
It's more about staying busy, but avoiding those crucial financial decisions.
Like staying busy, but not actually moving the needle.
Exactly. It's that procrastination that can keep us from really taking control.
It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day.
Oh, yeah.
But Kiyosaki's message is about being proactive.
Yeah.
Making those choices to build your future.
It's about finding your path in life too.
Yes.
And he talks about that, which isn't just about...
It's not just a job.
Picking a career.
Exactly.
It's about how you want to generate income.
Right.
And build wealth.
Oh,
Remember that cash flow quadrant?
Oh, yeah.
He illustrates those different ways that people earn money.
Right.
Employees, self-employed business owners, or investors.
Yeah, so many people resonate with that, like finding a path that aligns with their values.
Absolutely. And it's not that one is better than the other.
No.
It's about finding the one that fits you.
That's right.
Your skill.
Exactly.
Your interest.
Yep.
Your risk tolerance.
Yeah. He tells that great story about the 2 water contractors, right? Yeah, I love that one. One guy's hauling buckets and the other builds a pipeline.
Such a powerful way to think about how we approach work and wealth.
Yeah.
The guy hauling buckets, he's working hard, but he's limited.
He is. He's limited by his own capacity.
The other guy, he builds this system that makes money.
Exactly.
Even when he's not working.
That's right.
Have you ever had a moment in your life where you realized you needed to build a pipeline?
Oh, for sure. I think for me, it was when I realized I was just trading time for money, you know? Like, no matter how much I charged as a consultant, I was still limited by how many hours were in a day. That's when I started to explore like other ways to generate income. Real estate, investing in businesses, you know, things that could create that pipeline.
The things that could give you that leverage.
Right, exactly.
Kiyosaki talks about.
Yeah, he really emphasizes that.
He also talks about the importance of overcoming arrogance.
Oh, absolutely.
Which he sees as like a barrier.
Huge barrier.
Learning.
It is. Like, it's so easy to get complacent when things are going well and think, oh, I got this figured out.
Right.
But as soon as you stop being open to new ideas, really limit your potential.
He actually says...
Oh, he has such great lines.
What I know makes me money. What I don't know loses me money.
That's so true.
I think about that one all the time. I remember reading that story about him going to that real estate seminar.
Yeah.
And there was something in the presentation that, like, totally contradicted his beliefs.
Totally went against everything he thought.
But he listened to that part.
He did. Over and over again.
20 times.
I know. Most people would have just tuned it out.
Yeah, totally.
Or argued in their heads.
Yeah.
But he was willing to be open, even though it challenged him. And that's what allowed him to, like, gain these insights that he would have missed otherwise.
It's such a good reminder to just always be learning, always be growing.
And
don't be afraid to admit when you don't know something.
Yeah.
Speaking of learning, he's also a huge advocate for mentors.
Huge.
He believes that finding people who've already
done it,
achieved what you want, is one of the best ways to speed up your success.
Mentors can provide so much, that guidance, the support, the accountability.
Yeah.
They've been there, they've done that.
Yeah.
They can help you navigate the challenges.
Have you had any mentors in your life?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who've made a big impact on your financial journey?
Yeah. Early in my career, I was lucky enough to connect with this entrepreneur who kind of took me under his wing.
Wow.
He shared his experiences, gave me advice.
That's amazing.
Even invested in my first business.
Wow, that's incredible. And Kiyosaki actually gives advice.
He does.
On how to find mentors.
Yeah.
He suggests, like taking them to lunch, asking for tips.
Yeah, being genuinely curious.
Being curious about their experience.
Yeah, and building that relationship, showing that respect, and being willing to, like, offer value in return. I think a lot of people are hesitant.
I think so, too.
To reach out because they feel like, what could I offer? But everybody has something to offer.
That's so true. Whether it's time or skills.
Exactly.
Or your enthusiasm to learn.
Yeah.
Now, he also talks about developing this financial intelligence.
Financial intelligence.
Which he defines as this combination.
Yeah, it's not just about, like...
of understanding accounting.
Yeah, it's not just crunching numbers.
First thing, it's just hands-on.
It's understanding how money works.
And the law.
At a deeper level.
He says...
This is another great line.
Great opportunities are not seen with your eyes, they are seen with your mind.
I love that one.
It's about, like, training your mind to see the potential in things that other people might miss.
Like, he shares that story about buying that rundown house that everyone else thought was a terrible deal,
but he saw the potential.
4 extra empty lots that came with it.
He bought the house, tore it down, and sold the lots for 3 times what he paid for the whole thing. It's about seeing the possibilities, not just the problems.
Exactly.
Which I think is so powerful.
It is, and it shows how financial intelligence can lead to those opportunities.
Yeah.
It's not just about having money.
Right.
It's about having the knowledge and the skills to attract it and make it work for you.
But what if you're starting with limited capital?
That's a great question.
Does he address that at all?
He does. He actually emphasizes learning to raise capital.
Oh, interesting.
Even if you don't have a lot of your own money.
Okay.
He tells a story about buying an apartment building for $1.2 million without using any of his own money.
Wow.
He basically secured the property with a contract.
Okay.
And then used his financial savvy to find investors who were willing to fund the deal.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
It really shows that it is possible to create wealth.
Even if you don't start with a fortune.
Even if you're not starting with a fortune.
It really highlights, though, the importance of having those skills. Of being able to communicate your vision and persuade others to invest in your ideas.
He's all about challenging those conventional assumptions.
Yeah, he's thinking outside the box.
About how investing works.
Yeah, and he stresses taking action.
Yeah.
Even if you make mistakes along the way.
You know, he has that great quote.
I love this one.
Inspired by the Alamo.
Yeah.
Texans don't bury their failures. They get inspired by them.
I love that.
He sees failure as part of the process.
As part of the process,
Part of learning.
It's not a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for growth.
Totally.
Embrace those setbacks. Learn from them.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward.
Kiyosaki also talks a lot about taxes.
Yes.
And the role of government, which can be
a little controversial.
A bit controversial. He's very outspoken.
He is.
In his criticism of the current tax system, which he sees as rigged against the poor and the middle class.
Yeah, he argues that the tax code really benefits the wealthy who have access to, all these strategies to avoid
taxes that most people don't even know about.
And he uses that analogy of Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so interesting.
It's such an interesting take.
Because Robin Hood is usually seen as
the hero.
The good guy, right?
Yeah.
But he actually sees Robin Hood as a cook.
That's a bold statement.
It is. He's basically saying that taking from the rich and giving to the poor is not a sustainable solution.
Right.
It creates this culture of dependency and it discourages, individual initiative and wealth creation.
He's not a fan.
Not of
wealth redistribution.
No, he thinks it backfires on the very people it's supposed to help.
It's like that saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Exactly. He argues that once the government gets a taste of that new income, it just wants more and more.
And more.
And what started as a tax on the wealthy trickles down to everyone else.
And he points out that the wealthy, they've already found ways to protect their money. From taxes.
Through loopholes and
creative accounting.
So it's the middle class who end up fucking the bill.
Yeah. And this is where financial intelligence becomes so important. Understanding the rules of the game, even if you don't like them.
Even if you don't like them.
Is crucial for protecting yourself.
So true. And he also emphasizes understanding financial statements.
Yes.
Particularly the income statement and the balance sheet.
The balance sheet. I think a lot of people...
I think they get those confused.
They do. They get them confused. Or they only focus on one. And not the other.
Yeah. And he sees that as a big reason why people get stuck in that rat race.
Yeah.
They're just focused on earning and spending without paying attention to building assets.
So, to clarify, an income statement shows your income and expenses.
Over a period of time,
Yeah. But a balance sheet
is a snapshot
of your financial position at a specific moment.
At a specific time.
In time, it shows what you own, assets, and your net worth.
Yeah, your net worth.
And he believes...
people focus too much on the income statement.
Most people focus too much on the income statement without really understanding how to build a strong balance sheet.
Yeah, and he has those diagrams, right?
Oh, yeah, those are so good.
They're so simple, but they really illustrate...
They illustrate the difference. Between the rich and everybody else.
And everyone else.
So for the rich, their income from assets...
exceeds their expenses.
Is bigger than their expenses.
Yeah, allowing them to reinvest and grow their wealth.
So they can keep building that snowball.
Exactly, like a snowball.
But for... like the poor and the middle class.
For the poor and middle class, as their income goes up, their expenses go up too.
They just spend more.
They buy bigger houses, nicer cars, and they just end up stuck.
They're on that treadmill.
On the treadmill.
Running and running.
Running and running, but going nowhere.
And he's really critical.
Very critical.
Of using debt.
Yeah.
To finance those consumer purchases.
Things like cars and vacations.
Like cars, vacations, gadgets.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Because it keeps you
trapped.
Trapped in that cycle.
Yeah, he sees those as liabilities that drain your cash flow.
Not assets.
Not assets that are building wealth.
But what about using debt to buy, like...
That's a good question.
Assets.
Yeah.
Like rental properties.
Yeah, rental properties or starting your own business.
Isn't that part of the strategy?
He's a bit more cautious about using debt for that.
Okay.
But he doesn't rule it out entirely.
Okay.
He emphasizes understanding how to use it wisely.
So making sure the income that the asset generates is more than the cost.
More than the cost of that debt.
Of the debt.
Exactly. He's not saying that all debt is bad.
Yeah.
It's just a powerful tool that needs to be used carefully.
And he really stresses educating yourself about finance and investing.
You have to educate yourself.
He says financial intelligence is made up of 4 technical skills.
Okay.
They are...
Let's hear them.
1.
Accounting.
2. Investing.
2. Investing.
3. Understanding markets.
3. Understanding markets.
Yeah.
And 4. The law.
4. The law. And he believes that those skills aren't really taught.
They're not really taught.
In school.
No, not in traditional education.
So it's up to each of us.
It is. You have to take ownership of your financial education.
He's a big believer.
He is.
In lifelong learning.
Lifelong learning, yeah.
When it comes to finance.
Keep reading.
He says, I play hard, make mistakes, correct, make more mistakes, correct, and get better. If I lose the game, I reach across the net, shake my opponent's hand, smile, and say, see you next Saturday.
It's like that tennis analogy, right?
Yeah.
It's about embracing that learning process, not being afraid to fail.
Yeah, and always trying
to improve.
To get better.
Yeah.
Now, he also talks about certain mindset obstacles.
Oh, yeah, these are big.
That can hold you back from success.
Yeah, like fear.
Yeah, like
laziness.
Laziness. But not
physical laziness.
The physical kind of laziness.
No, like the mental laziness.
Yeah, the mental kind.
Yeah, that leads to procrastination.
That leads to procrastination and avoidance. So let's start with fear.
Okay, fear.
How does he suggest overcoming the fear of losing money?
Well, he acknowledges that fear is natural, right? It's part of being human.
Yeah.
But he encourages people to face their fears head on. Understand where they come from and find ways to manage them. It's not about eliminating fear. It's about learning to make decisions even though you're afraid.
So like knowledge and experience are the best
antidotes
to fear.
Yes. The more you understand about investing, the less fearful you'll be.
Now he also warns against
cynicism.
Yeah, that belief that everything is rigged.
Yeah, and you can't win.
You can't win. Yeah. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It does.
Because then you just focus on all the reasons why it won't work. And then you miss the opportunity.
Exactly. So it's about being more positive, optimistic, believing in yourself.
Believing that you can create your own success.
Yeah. And being wary of those people who are overly cynical.
Yeah, because that can be contagious.
Because negativity is contagious.
Now, that last one, laziness.
Laziness.
It's kind of interesting.
It is. He's not talking about being lazy, you know.
Physically lazy.
Like sitting on the couch all day.
Yeah.
He's talking about that mental laziness.
Yeah, like being busy.
Yeah, being busy, but
not productive.
Not actually.
Yeah, it's like procrastination disguised as productivity.
Yeah.
So how do you think we can overcome?
Well, he encourages
developing that sense of urgency.
Okay.
You know, recognizing that time is valuable. And setting those clear goals.
Yeah, clear goals.
And making a plan.
A plan to get there.
To achieve them. And for me, personally, I find deadlines very helpful.
Deadlines are huge for overcoming procrastination.
It's about being proactive. And intentional.
Yeah.
And taking control.
Take control.
Don't just let life happen to you.
Yeah. And he uses that analogy of going to the gym.
Oh, yeah.
He says, the most painful part is deciding to go. Once you get past that, it's easy. After the workout is over, I am always glad I talked myself into going.
That's so true.
Like, it's that initial...
Yeah, it's getting over that hurdle.
Yeah, getting over that hurdle.
But then once you're there...
You're
good.
You're good.
Okay, so we talked about mindset.
Right.
What about specific skills?
Oh, skills. Yeah, this is interesting.
What does he say?
Well, he actually highlights skills that might surprise you.
Okay, like what?
Like sales. Sales and marketing, communication, negotiation.
Those don't sound like that.
They don't sound like typical finance skills, do they?
No, they don't.
No.
Most people think it's all about numbers.
Numbers and spreadsheets. But he believes those skills are so important for any business, including investing.
Because you have to be able to.
Yeah, you have to be able to sell your ideas.
Communicate your vision. Build relationships. Negotiate deals. So it's not just about the technical stuff.
He even encourages taking sales courses and joining networking groups.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He also stresses the importance of learning from history.
Oh, interesting.
Like studying the past can give you these insights into how markets work and how to spot trends.
Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Really.
Exactly.
And I think that applies to finance too.
Oh, absolutely.
Just as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Now, he also has an interesting take
does.
On job security.
Yeah.
Which most people would say.
Most people think it's like the holy grail, right?
Yeah, that's super important.
Yeah, you got to have job security.
But he actually challenges that.
He does. He says relying on a job for security is actually risky.
Especially in today's world.
Like those days of lifetime employment are over.
He's not a fan of that.
Like, good job.
Get a good job, climb the ladder. Yeah, he thinks that's...
He encourages building multiple streams of income. Building an asset column.
Build that asset column.
That can provide for you.
Yeah, that can generate income.
Even if you lose your job.
Or
want to retire early.
Exactly.
It's about diversifying. Your income streams.
So you're not relying
on a single paycheck.
On that one paycheck.
Exactly.
It gives you more freedom.
More flexibility.
And
flexibility, yeah.
He also encourages readers to
think big. Yeah, to set those ambitious goals.
And never underestimate.
Your ability
to achieve great things.
To achieve amazing things.
I love that. It's about expanding your vision of what's possible.
Kiyosaki's focus on the power of our minds.
Yes.
To shape our financial realities.
It's a big theme.
Is a big theme throughout the book.
He
encourages readers to, think big. Overcome your fears.
And
have a can-do attitude.
Yeah.
He's a big believer in the power of positive thinking.
Like what you believe you can achieve.
Yeah.
You're more likely to achieve.
And if you let fear and self-doubt hold you back, creep in,
you'll never reach your full potential.
And
he actually gives some practical advice.
He does.
On cultivating that positive mindset.
Yeah, like surrounding yourself.
What
positive people?
Avoiding negative people.
Avoiding the negative people.
Setting clear goals.
And
visualizing yourself achieving them.
Yeah, it's about creating that mental environment. That supports your success.
Yes.
This is all super inspiring.
It is.
But is it really that simple?
Well, I think he would say...
Yeah.
It's not about being simple.
Right.
It's about having the right mindset.
Right.
And being willing to put in the effort. He's not promising to get rich quick.
Yeah, it's not a get rich quick scheme.
No.
He's giving you a framework.
He is. A framework for thinking about money.
Yeah, a framework for thinking about money.
And a set of principles.
Yeah, that require dedication.
Dedication and discipline. So it's about being willing. To challenge your assumptions.
To challenge those assumptions.
Learn new skills.
And
take action consistently.
Yeah. And recognizing it's a journey. It's not a destination. There will be setbacks. Yeah. There will be challenges.
But it's about learning.
It's about learning from those experiences.
And keep going. Now, in addition to all these principles, he also gives some specific strategies.
Oh, yeah. He gets into the nitty-gritty.
For investing.
Yeah, like specific asset classes.
In different asset classes?
Yeah.
He talks about real estate, stocks,
and
starting your own business.
So,
Let's start with real estate.
Okay, real estate.
What are some of his?
Well, he believes it's a powerful tool that can generate both income and appreciation.
Okay.
He emphasizes understanding cash flow, buying properties that generate positive cash flow.
Okay.
And using debt wisely.
Using debt wisely.
To maximize your returns.
And he has some great stories.
It does.
From his own experience.
Some experience.
Remember that one about buying the house?
Oh, yeah, the one where he bought the house.
For $20,000?
For $20,000 less.
Less than the asking price.
Than the asking price.
And then he rented it out.
Yeah, rented it out for a profit.
For a profit.
And then sold it a year later for $95,000.
That's amazing to this couple from California.
Who thought it was a bargain.
Who thought it was a steal.
It's such a good example of using real estate.
To build wealth?
To build wealth. Finding those undervalued properties.
Yeah.
Generating rental income. And then selling for a profit.
And it shows that patience
is key.
And discipline are so important.
Yeah, not letting your emotions.
Yeah, don't let your emotions drive your decision.
Drive your decisions.
Yeah.
He also talks about those hidden
gems,
Those properties.
Those properties that other people might overlook.
Yeah, because they don't see.
They don't see the potential. He encourages you to use your financial intelligence to spot those opportunities.
Okay, so train your mind.
Train your mind.
See the possibilities.
The possibilities, not the problem.
Not just the problems.
Yes.
Now, what about stocks?
Okay, stocks. He's a big advocate for investing in high growth companies.
Okay.
Companies that are, on the verge of going public.
Okay.
Or experiencing rapid expansion.
But isn't that really risky?
It can be.
Most people would say.
Most advisors would say, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Don't do that.
But he believes those kinds of investments have the potential for huge returns.
So there's a trade-off there. Yeah, there's definitely a trade-off.
High risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward.
He actually shares a story about...
Oh, he has some crazy stories about turning $25,000 into $1 million in less than a year.
That's incredible. But
I know.
I'm guessing that takes a lot of...
It takes a lot of expertise and a really high-risk tolerance.
To play at that level.
But
he emphasizes doing your homework.
Oh, yeah. He's all about being informed.
Yeah.
Don't just blindly follow the crowd.
Understand the businesses you're investing in.
Understand the businesses.
Before you put your money in.
Make informed decisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, besides real estate and stocks, he also talks about
starting your own business.
Starting a business as a way to build wealth.
He encourages it.
But he's realistic about the challenges too.
Oh yeah, he's not sugarcoating it.
He points out that...
He says 9 out of 10 businesses fail.
9 out of 10.
Within 5 years.
Fail within 5 years.
Yeah, so it's not easy.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It's not for everyone.
But if you're willing to...
But if you're willing to put in the work.
Put in the work and you're passionate.
You're passionate.
It can be incredibly rewarding.
What does he say about passion?
Well, he's a big believer in finding work that you love.
Okay.
He actually encourages young people to look for jobs based on what they'll learn.
Well, not just
what they'll earn.
How much they'll get paid.
Yeah, he says JOB is an acronym for just over broke.
Oh, I like that.
It's about finding something that's both rewarding and meaningful.
So throughout the book, Kiyosaki's message is really about...
It's about challenging conventional wisdom.
Challenging conventional wisdom.
Thinking for yourself.
Thinking for yourself.
And creating your own path.
Creating your own path to success.
To success.
Well, we covered a lot of ground here. From building assets to overcoming fear.
To developing financial intelligence.
Financial intelligence.
To thinking big.
Thinking big. It's clear he has a lot to offer.
Yeah, he definitely offered some valuable insights.
And it's not just about the money, right?
It's not just about the money.
It's about using your resources
to
create a life
you love.
A life of purpose.
And making a positive impact on the world.
Well, I think this has been a really thought-provoking deep dive.
I agree.
Into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's been great.
And I hope it's given all of you some new ideas.
New ideas and inspiration.
New ideas and inspiration.
And inspiration to create the financial future.
The financial future that you want.
That you desire.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being here.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building your financial freedom.
See you next time.